All right, everyone. We are here on this beautiful. What's today? December the 29th,
29th.
2024. Hey, JMS. You come check in on us every week. So today's topic is going to be about never going against the grain. So I have a little introductory about that. So I was just sitting, just kind of coming up with some thoughts. And I was thinking, a lot of the things that we learn and the reason we go with the grain is for the most part, as babies and young children, we go up going with the standard societal or familiar norms in order for survival and to get our needs met. But as we grow older and become more independent, we begin to go against what we have been taught, or rather, what has been ingrained in us, hence going against the grain. So, as our minds, um, so we go against what has been ingrained in our minds as correct or normal. And as we experience life on our own by learning other ways of life and experiencing life, albeit good or bad, we begin to reprogram our thoughts and ideas to suit our own way of life. And as we learn and grow and adapt to our own ways, many times our family members and friends may perceive our actions as weird or rebellious, when in reality, we are forging our own understanding of self and what works best for our individual self. So, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Good. As we're waiting on Corey, let's see if he wants to hop in. Hop on. How's your week been?
It's been kind of calm, actually,
Yeah, well, good.
and I like it.
Oh, that's good. Calmness is always a good
Peaceful.
thing.
I enjoy a piece of peace. You hear me?
Peace of mind
No,
is,
a
is
piece of peace.
yeah. Well, you right. Peace is different. Can be in different forms. So peace is just quiet.
hmm It ain't been no whole lot of it's just calm. Everything is calm.
Good. You think that's because you choosing calmness?
Yes,
Or-
I know that's why. I ain't finna
so
do
many
nothing
times
extra.
we
It be
create
your
our
own. You
own.
create your own chaos.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
It be in your reactions though. Like
Or
when
it just
things
be in our
happen, you
thought
have the
processes
choice,
too.
but you have the choice to decide on how you go. You can think. I can think. I'm finna whoop his ass, but that don't mean I have to do it.
Yeah.
So it's in your reaction on how you decide you want to deal with things. I can have
Mhm.
all the fucked up thoughts I want to have. I don't have to act on it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So yes, my reactions, and I don't know. I think it's just because I don't have to drive 52 minutes. That make a big difference.
It does. The stress. Because sometimes
Yes.
we react to based off of stressors.
hmm
But when you relax and let
Or
stuff
just how much
happen, how
stress you have in your life at that moment.
yeah, and then the
Like
thing
it's
is, a lot
hard
of
to
times it's control. We want to control every aspect of everything. I know for me,
I
I
no,
want
I
to,
agree.
I
Control.
want to
That's what.
control everything, and control creates stress.
Absolutely, because you can't, because things are not how you want it to be. So if it's not how I want it to be, now let me sit and think, how can I manipulate the situation to be what I want it to be?
Or how we expect it to be sometimes.
Same thing.
Yeah, because I'm realizing just go with the flow and stuff be working out how I need it to when I
It
think
do,
less.
but then when you ain't got to be trying to, well, if I do this, then this gonna happen, and then if I do this, then this
Right.
gonna happen. Now you stress the fuck out trying to make
Because
shit
we done
happen how it's supposed
planned.
to, but it's gonna do what it's supposed to do anyway.
So,
Yeah.
do you think that the way society works, they tell us to be goal oriented, they tell us to do this way, and do you think that contributes
Yes.
to a lot of that?
But I think I'm not saying that you should have to. Like, I don't think that you should just be like, you know what, whatever happened is gonna happen. Like, no, you have to put forth some type of, you have to do some type of work in order to gain what you want or to have the goals accomplished that you want to accomplish, but your goals does not necessarily have to coincide with what somebody else is trying to do.
Right. And so what do you think
Unless
causes?
you're trying to build something with that individual, then it should at least, be similar, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
So with that being said, do you think that what do you think like we do have to have goals and work at them slowly at at your own pace. What do you
Yeah.
think causes people to really just like stress
Fear.
the fuck out? Is as
I
far
think it's
as
fear. In my opinion, it's fear. You scared something gonna go in a way that you're not prepared for it to handle. When a lot of times you need to let whatever it is happen how it's gonna happen. Because if it's happening that way, then technically, shit, you prepared.
that's crazy
You
because when I was that's it's funny you said fear because when I was just kind of thinking about never going against the grain, first thing that came to my mind is fear. And
Yeah.
I was reading about it. Fear is considered to be the root emotion. It's the basic emotion that is felt as babies as a means of survival.
Yeah,
Fear
you're
may
gonna either
prevent
go
people
into fight or flight.
right. Fear prevents many people from going on their own path.
Yeah, because that's tied into, you remember we was talking about the domestication of your mind,
Yeah.
and that's when you. But then even if you think about it at the smallest level, at a cellular level, like when you talk about cell transport, how
Hmm.
molecules move across the cell membrane, if it's going with the concentration gradient, it doesn't require any energy. So that
Hmm.
means it's just gonna flow naturally. But if it's going in the opposite direction or in a way where you going from where it's a large amount to a small amount, you gotta require a certain type of energy in order to even get there. So that means you have to put forth work. But if you take that same concept and apply it to like whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you just kind of go with the flow instead of fighting and trying to make shit how you want it to be for everybody else, then
Hmm.
it doesn't require as much energy. And that's
So
just
with
on a cellular level. So if you
so
just
you
take that and apply it in real to like everyday shit you doing, it's the
hmm
same thing.
hmm so in traditional Chinese medicine, the element of fear is considered the water element.
Because bitch, I'm drowning.
Or no, it's just I guess it's representing is it as metaphorically just going with the flow. A lot of
Yeah.
times, and I mean it
Okay,
makes
that
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you take that and tie it in to what I was just talking about on the cellular level, you think about like osmosis, the
Hmm.
process that like talking about some form of a liquid, whether it's blood, water, whatever you're trying to move in and out of the cell. It's still, if it's
Hmm.
going where it's just flowing naturally, then it doesn't require energy. But if it's where you got to put forth work because you got some shit that really don't need to fit in where it's going, or you got to work hard to get it, then it
Hmm.
requires energy. So, mm, I don't know where they
So
came
so
from, just
so
at the
the
top of my head.
so the traditional Chinese medicine, the water element encompasses the kidney organ system. This system includes the physical kidneys, the adrenal gland, and the adrenal glands. And the Chinese call it the Jing or essence.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey. So basically, when it comes to fear and everything else, that's your adrenal glands and that water element, like we just stated, going with the flow or going
Yeah.
against the flow.
And then if you think
Interesting.
about it, like I remember I had vertigo at one point, but it was because I was crying so
Hmm.
much, but I was crying because I couldn't make things be how I felt they should be in my head.
Hmm.
So I'm not going with the flow. And as my body was showing me, okay, every time you fight whatever is happening, I'm gonna make you sick. How you ever had vertigo?
Nope. I get
That
birth.
shit like
I get
that
morning
shit
sick.
like being pregnant, man, and you ain't even pregnant because you nauseous. You it's I don't recommend
That's how I
it.
feel when I'm reading or looking at my cell phone. I'm riding in the car with somebody. I can't read and ride.
Don't do that shit. But vertigo will have you out here toe fucked up, sweating.
Mm.
Man, for real. I didn't even know that that's what it was, but it was because she was like I had so much fluid sitting in between my inner ear from she was like, have you been crying? And I was like, man, you don't even know. Yes, but this was a long time ago, but been like yeah, because I was fighting, trying to control shit outside of myself.
Mhm.
So yeah, your body will do that shit even on like the smallest cellular level. So yeah, I think it's good. Sometimes it's good to go against the grain too. I think because you
I think it's
it's good and it's like I mean like when I say going with the flow, I mean the flow of your own individual
right,
journey.
right,
But
right.
going
That's
against the
different.
grain is like I'm not gonna follow what the mass does. Mass
Right.
is that the right word?
Or if it work, if it doesn't work for
Society
you, don't
started.
follow the mass. But if it works for you, you can follow the mass. Some people it
Right.
works
It
for.
just depends on what it is. Yeah, and the person and their individual journey. What you say,
Right.
Corey?
No, I was saying society's terms, going against what society, you know,
Yeah,
says what's right or whatever.
yeah. I
Can
think that
y'all hear
make a
me though?
big difference. Huh?
I say, can y'all hear me clearly?
You sound a little low. Like turn your like put your face to the microphone. No, just
I had called myself buying some
you did
headphones or
like me,
whatever.
Lord. My shit died. I was hollering, but y'all don't hear me.
But no, I was also gonna add into what you were saying. You was like in in Chinese medicine or whatever. Fear is labeled as the water sign. Correct? That's what you said.
Mhm.
And then to quote one of my favorite Chinese um, actors, martial artists, philosophers, Bruce Lee said, "Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water."
Mhm.
Um, now you put
Hmm.
what he say? Now you put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. And then he ended it saying, be like water or whatever. You feel me?
Yeah. And this
And just flow.
and just
Yeah.
flow. And then it said the water element is said to house the spirit or will. And while it may be a platitude where there is a will, there is a way, it quite a prose. I don't know what that means. But water is able to wear down all other elements, creating crayons out of stone. It does it not by raw force, but through patient consistency. Our goals in life are possible if we have enough dedication to put one foot after the other and the will to continue with things are difficult.
for sure.
Yeah. That makes sense. Unless you change your goal.
Yeah, and then when you change your goal, that was this you just figure
But
what path.
I believe that the water element does wear down the
Heck
other.
yeah.
That's why I just can't do it.
That's where we
But that's
get erosion and shit from. You feel me?
right. But as also too, it's much needed as that verse said. So you have
It
to
don't
learn how to
matter.
still maintain your who you are and what you got going on.
Yeah,
Water is just
and
consistent.
I agree with it. Like when they say, Lord, be able to maintain
Yeah,
like
it's
yourself.
consistency.
That's like for me personally, the water sign. Like I could deal in the waters to what I'm saying a certain extent, but that shit I don't like it.
Yeah. But do you
I
think it
think
makes you feel something that you normally wouldn't otherwise feel, or you just
I just don't like. I don't want to sit in emotions. I like for me personally. Like I deal with my emotions how I deal with my emotions.
hmm
But like I don't know, I just can't sit in my I can't like the amount of emotional shit that most water signs require, I just don't got it.
Or do you think that maybe it's a different form of perception that they have?
However you want to put it, I ain't got it. Like it don't have that don't mean like I can't tolerate them or I wouldn't want to be friends or whatever. Like, no, that's not what I mean. I understand their
Mhm.
perception is important to validate and listen
Yeah,
to take
everybody's
into.
perception is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like to be like I couldn't personally be in a relationship with a person of I've tried it and it just it's not good for me.
Yeah.
It's too heavy.
But it makes sense. I'm learning being around more water signs that they are very intuitive and perceptive. What I may deem as heavy is really just how they cope and deal. Like
Yeah, but
seriously.
it's
And
if
I
that's too heavy for me, I can't take it.
yeah, no, I'm not I know it's different for everybody, but I'm just learning how
Yeah,
to still because to still just stand in my feelings and how I cooperate and just because I'm not no water. I have no water in my chart whatsoever. So sometimes that water can be dampering, but I'm learning how to separate myself and
from
just
them. Yeah,
yes. And because a
because
lot of
that can be
times,
overbearing to a certain extent. I have
well,
to tell, like I have to tell, like my son is a water sign. I have to tell, I tell him all the time, you have very big energy. But my rising is a water sign, so I'm intuitive to that
or a lot
extent,
of times it be what be going on internally with them personally, and
and
it ain't don't
I don't have the patience.
and it don't be having nothing to do with nobody else but them.
It don't. And that's why I tell him, I be like, dog, you mad at whatever you mad at, but like I didn't do it.
Yeah,
So like if you want to talk about it, then we can. You know what
right.
I'm saying? But if not, then can you go outside? Cause I can feel this shit. And it be heavy. But it's always like I like being around water signs because they help me understand me to a certain
Mhm,
extent. But to like date one, I couldn't do it. I
mhm.
tried it. It's too heavy. I can't. Can we just laugh? Can we? I want to say what I want to say, and then we be done with this shit. But then you say what you gotta say, and they be mad for 3 days.
Or they
I
might they
can't.
just have to. They might not be mad. They just have to process it, and it take three,
Well,
maybe three to
I
four
don't.
business
Can you?
days.
Well, do that mean you have to ignore me? I don't
I
like
don't know.
this shit. Can we just
I,
talk about it and get it over with? Fuck it. It don't even matter. I don't even want to be mad no more. This nigga still mad. You know what? Let's break up. I can't do
They process
it.
it.
Fuck that
What you
shit.
I
gonna say,
You
Corey?
no, 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 no. I was just gonna add in that I get what y'all saying or whatever when it comes to the water sign or whatever. I actually have what is it? Hold on, let me get it right, man. It says my Aquarius is in Jupiter. You feel me?
Your Jupiter's in Aquarius,
Yeah, Jupiter is in Aquarius. Excuse me, I had
so
it
that's
back.
air.
yeah,
You
you err.
you
I
got
My
think
bad.
air,
my Jupiter is in Aquarius too.
but
I think that's
Jupiter
like
is
a 30-year thing.
that's
So
a
that's air.
generational
My
thing.
bad. So you
Yeah.
say that?
No.
So
What's
Aquarius
your
is
So
air. My
what's your
bad.
if
moon
you
and rising? Your moon and
yeah,
rising and your Mercury, the inner planets are the most important because that's more
that's
affects you
more
in a
inner.
shorter span.
Yeah.
So
My
you're looking
moon
at
is
your
in my moon is in Libra. You feel me? And my
okay,
sun is in Sagittarius.
and then what's your rising
Let's say ascendant.
Uh,
or
uh,
ascendant?
ASC.
see, Pisces.
Oh,
Oh,
Corey, you crazy.
I don't know.
he probably ain't,
I
no. That's
can be.
just
You feel me? I
that's
can
just
be.
his ascendant. He probably ain't crazy. He just probably got more so he understands emotionally and has the ability to see things.
Nah, that motherfucker
So
crazy.
What?
right. So
Not
now,
in
I'm
like,
just playing.
but to chime into that though, you feel me? Like what I
I'm
was gonna
just
say.
playing, Corey.
No, no, you smooth. You smooth. You feel me? Because I am crazy though, you know. But no, but like no, but on some real shit though. Me knowing that that I do have that. ability or that in my chart or just period. Me being a fire sign, I look at, water as my opposite. You feel me? I
Mhm.
know both, you feel me, can create life and can destroy. You feel me? It's all about
Mhm.
harnessing your power, you feel me, and understanding you feel me? Once you
Right.
Yeah,
have
I
some
agree with
sort of
that.
knowledge of self, you feel me? I believe in my own thinking or whatever, you feel me, that you be able to kind of balance shit out, so to speak, or
Right.
whatnot.
And
Yeah,
we're really all of the
you have
elements because
you
hell,
are
we
all the elements.
80%, we 90,
You
80.
are.
How much percent of
It's
water are we?
it's between 60 and
70,
70. 60
70
and
something,
70
yeah.
percent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
70
And then
something.
the rest of the elements is like high is air and shit.
Mhm.
It's a little bit of metal, but it's not a lot.
Right. So it's a little bit of earth, but
Mostly
mostly
air.
air, mostly water with a little air.
Well, yeah,
And
mostly water, but water and shit. Hey, that's two elements of hydrogen, one oxygen.
yeah. So
That's
we
fucking
encompass all of it. And I agree with Corey. You just kind of have to learn how to harness and encompass
yeah.
all of it. Because I think we're moving into a time where, yeah,
You have
this
to
stuff is
know
important.
yourself.
Right. And but you have to also be able to move in and out of whatever you have to because now everything is so transparent that
And
you
it's
have to
going
have the
so damn
ability.
fast.
Yes, you have to have the ability. Like what I'm realizing is I cannot be stuck in my way of thinking and how I feel about everything all the time because
No.
shit is going so fast. And like I knew this, but back then it seemed like we had a little more time and room to play around.
But you know why
Now,
you had a little time and room to move around? Because you
why?
probably was 17.
Well, that too, but also even not even with our age, just the times that we're in, shit is wide the fuck
It's
open.
moving fast too.
Shit open.
But it seems like the older you get, the faster it moves and the more like
Yeah,
when
but it's
we was 17, shit wasn't as like the World Wide World web was not what it is now.
exactly. So that takes on a whole everything takes on a whole nother spin when it's that fucking open and
It
you are
does.
aging. I don't even think it's the aging because I talk to my
I
kids and
think
time
aging makes a difference too.
it does,
Because
but I talk to my kids and they feel the same thing. Like, damn, time. And when I was their age, time stood still. I don't give a fuck. When I
that's
was
what I'm saying, it's
17,
going faster. But I was listening to this guy and he was talking about time is moving faster because of
The
how
earth
they
spinning
advertise
fast.
shit.
No, but the earth spinning faster too. That's a scientific
That
fact and
too.
shit, though.
But
yeah,
if
Yeah.
and
it's
because we
if
talked about
every
that.
like
We,
say if it's almost Christmas, but they already advertising that shit at the end of September.
yeah,
Then
and that's
now,
called
like Christmas just
capitalism and
ended,
money.
Yeah,
they
that's
finna
them
start
targeting.
advertising.
You feel me?
Valentine's shit is already out,
Yeah,
so
That's
they
you don't
targeting.
money.
even have time.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
That's
targeting. Yeah, pocket
right.
watching
That's
and shit.
but
You
money.
feel me?
it still makes it seem like the time is moving
Yeah,
faster.
but
Cause you're like,
also,
damn, what come up next? Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, whatever come up next.
but y'all
Yeah,
remember we did talk about that some episodes ago, a couple months
We
ago, about
did.
yeah, we
how
did.
the
Yeah, I
they
remember.
with that how the Earth is spinning like a couple of seconds or 0.2 seconds
Yeah,
faster
faster.
Than what it
Yeah.
used to.
than what it used to,
Do
right?
you think that's because some of the ice and shit is melting and it's not as heavy?
No, I think it's a whole pole shift. And then they're experimenting with so much technology that we don't know. We get shit 10, 15 years after they done already done this stuff.
But I'm
Like I
saying if it's still not
That part.
lighter, if it's not as heavy as it was, that's like if you got a rubber band ball and you spin that motherfucker, then you take some of the rubber bands off, it's gonna spin faster.
but the earth has
It,
been
it,
here for
it,
years doing that though. Like
right.
But it had
And that's
more
what and that's
ice,
what I was gonna
so if the
and that's
ice melt, it's gonna move faster.
but I was gonna say that too though. You feel me? Like, nothing lasts forever. You feel me? So the earth
This
don't
motherfucker
bend.
finna melt
It,
away.
it'll go in one polar direction and switch to
yeah,
another one.
switch to
Like they
another.
said,
But as it rotates,
they,
though, is what I'm
they
saying.
said
It's
in
gonna
the
rotate.
they were
It's
like
gonna move.
in the next million years, what we consider north and south, our poles, the north pole and the south pole, it'll be completely different. You know what I'm saying? In the next million some years, even though we probably won't be here to see it, but
Right.
nevertheless,
Yeah, I
that's
don't want to
something
be
that can
that
happen.
old. That's gotta
So,
be some
so listen, I
trash.
was watching this show today on YouTube. Do y'all know they have a quiet zone in the United States where there's no waves, no phone, cell phones are not
Where
there.
is
They
it
don't have
at?
in West Virginia, in the mountains of West
Yeah.
Virginia. And they
Mm.
have the world's biggest satellite dish. Y'all know that big satellite dish that we be seeing that rotate and we see the stars behind it?
Uh-huh.
That's in the quiet zone in West Virginia. People
Yeah,
there
that's
cannot
a
have
So
that's
why is it a quiet zone? What
because
because
is
it's a
it?
the
What is
radio.
purpose does it serve?
It's a telescope. You feel me?
Is
And
it
they
the
use
yeah.
it.
control center of the of whatever?
No,
So
it's
they can't they don't have they you can't have technology because of the elf waves. It's so many waves coming off of cell phones, and the smallest wave can fuck it up. So it's looking into outer space.
I
yeah.
get
And
that. I'm saying, but what is its purpose? Why is that the designated no wave space?
I have no idea. This is my first time even
That's
hearing
what I'm
about it.
saying. So do you? I'm saying I think that it's like this, so that they take that one area where there's no waves and compare. Because with in science, that's how that shit is. Is I want to
Yeah, well,
compare
that's
one
what
thing
they
to the
said.
next.
What that's what they said in in the 70s or 60s. That's the government carved out that area specifically for no technology to
Okay, that's
Right.
study
that's what I
to
want to know.
Right.
study.
What is
And
it
And then
for?
but then too also too though, you feel me, when you dealing with when they listening to space, they bouncing off radio waves. Radio
yes,
waves travel faster and shit, you feel me, and
yes,
longer. So they can be able to hear and observe from a
that part
far longer distance, you feel me, with their
without the
quietness. Anyway,
interruption,
Radio
right?
waves are
yeah.
gonna move slower
Well,
than
No, we
whatever
talking about they
waves.
moving.
sound.
But yeah, but they travel out farther though. You feel me?
Right. And
That's like
so
they
that's why they said they cannot have like any microwaves, any type of technology that we
in the
possess.
interference and shit. Yeah.
So
Because
who
the
live
slightest,
there?
uh, it's like,
Like
it's in the,
Amish people?
no, like it's really, I want to go visit it. You
I
can
didn't
go
mean it
in,
for real.
but you don't have cell phone service for like 60 or 50 or 60-mile radius. When you get to this telescope, you can go in and visit, and it's like a whole center, but you cannot take your phone in. You can only use the old school cameras. You have to buy like a disposable camera. You have to turn
And go get
everything
it
off.
and get it developed.
Yes, but what they found is it's this guy. He's a researcher. His name is Felix J. Lockman, and he found a small area with this telescope that has millions of galaxies in it, and you can cover it up with your finger tip. Like if you're looking in the sky and you find it, it's called the Lockman's hole. If you find the
I don't
Lockman's hole,
understand how they have like all this information and then people still be like, I think we the only organisms in the universe.
well, that goes back to what we're talking about. Like people, it's been ingrained in people to believe
To
when you start
believe what the aliens and stuff not real?
basically because you
Yeah,
think
through
about it
dogma.
What is
Yeah,
that
through
engraved that
dogma.
in? I have never heard that.
in
No, through
church,
religion. You know what I mean?
religion, they
Oh,
people
yeah, I
Yeah.
must
believe
have
in
missed
nothing but
anything. I didn't
God or
go.
Jesus. Don't believe in anything other than Jesus because nothing else is
Right.
real.
That's heresy. That'll get you stoned type shit.
Right.
I'm stoned then, I guess shit. Stone me,
Hey,
motherfucker, cause shit, I ain't no way. If you look at the animals and the organisms that's just in the ocean on this same planet and look how they look, ain't no fucking way. How did you?
Exactly.
Ain't no how, like, come on, bro. Open your, come let me open your eyeballs, cause you
but
tripping.
right, we still talking about the same person though. At once upon a time, thought if you sail so far out the hell, you was gonna sell off the face of the earth.
Face of the
So
earth.
like,
I'm trying to find that
come on.
area. Get the fuck off of this motherfucker. 'Cause this shit
And so
stupid.
have y'all okay, so have y'all been paying attention? They're saying that the ice caps in Antarctica are melting, but they're
And that's
finding
what
out
I was talking about when I was saying that the earth is spinning faster. The lighter that shit is, it's gonna spin
but
faster.
no, they're finding other continents. That's why Antarctica was cut off for so long. They're saying that there are more
So is
continents
it
on
some
the
people under there froze?
I don't know about all that, but
Cause I be looking for good niggas and they is it.
they is
Nice.
probably under there frozen.
I want to
But the thing,
unfrozen motherfuckers.
but they're saying that the ice caps are melting, and now people can navigate, which they don't let us navigate. But they're
Of
coming up
course
with this.
not. You
They're
know who gonna
saying
go
that
first.
there are more possible more land masses which are other continents. So this is going to be interesting.
But how big is Antarctica? Because I just don't know right
Don't
now.
nobody know how big that shit is because they stop letting people go to that motherfucker in the
Cause it
50s.
is cut bits and pieces of that shit is inaccessible.
Yeah, most of it's inaccessible. They cut you off
But
at a
why
certain
though? Who? And I don't understand why do you have that much control? Like who put you in charge? It's like
because
I was
they
talking to
probably
somebody earlier, and they was talking about laws and
Yeah,
you know it's
but
laws and shit.
all the
But
countries came together and they signed the treaty for this shit.
treaty.
You feel
Yeah,
me?
back after
but
World
what's
War
but
II.
why? My
After World War
and
II, because they want to control, and it's
I know that
probably
part. But why do you? What are you controlling if it's
probably
froze?
outside entities. Because hell, if it's that much shit going on, they don't want us to really know what
Shit,
is
let
out
them
there.
motherfuckers in. It can't be no worse than what it already is.
Well, they don't want. They want to maintain control and control the
I
narrative.
really think it might be our aunties and shit over there.
It probably is shit. They are or somebody folks hell that they don't want people to know about. Just like all that shit going on in New Jersey. Like,
What happened with them drones? Was that in New
yes,
Jersey?
I think they fighting a whole war that we won't know nothing about until 15 years later. Because you think about it, Trump
I
created
haven't
what
heard
for?
anything up besides it was just drones. What they been saying?
Well, you think about it, Trump created the space
The
force.
space. I know he did that.
Why would you create a space force if it ain't no outer space shit going on?
That's a good question. I always wondered that, but I never found no answer, and I just quit looking.
So now they're in New Jersey flying drones. What are y'all trying to fight without
Why
us
they don't
knowing?
just tell the truth? They don't tell the truth because
But
the
but if
religious
y'all
people
remember,
gonna go crazy.
but if y'all remember last year though, you feel me? They it wasn't necessarily drones. It was like weather balloons, quote unquote, that was
Yep,
floating, coming from the
across the
west
country.
coast. You feel me? Yeah, coming from the west. You feel me? From
And if
this
that
end, you know.
motherfucker came all the way from Washington State, the
Yeah,
motherfucker, they didn't blow
one
that bitch down to South Carolina.
right. One flew over Colorado and shit or whatever. So yeah, it's something. You feel me?
But
Hell,
what they tell us, they told us they're Chinese balloons. Chinese balloons.
right.
So they're giving
So
us
why is
one
y'all
narrative.
letting Chinese balloons fly over here?
Cause it ain't Chinese balloons that but
I know that. I'm just saying, people
but you
stupid.
but like we know, we explore outside of the norms. A lot of people cannot handle, and they know this. They can't just be like, "Hey, it's aliens here, y'all." People ain't gonna believe that shit.
I would.
Yeah, cause you have an open mind, but regular motherfuckers that have been in doctor, they ain't finna believe that. They gonna think
It
these
ain't
folks is
it
lying.
it it ain't even that though. You feel me? With them being in cahoots with the Vatican and the
Yeah,
powers that be, you feel me? That
yeah,
shit'll contradict and go against everything. You feel me?
everything.
That shit'll start anarchy. You feel me?
You
You know
right.
what I mean?
What
So
is
You
they
star
got
right.
anarchy? Say that again. I missed it. Say, can you
them
say?
them, them exposing, you know what I'm saying, what it is and
Hmm.
shit. You feel me? Like that'll go against, I man, the powers that be. You feel me? Without
Yeah.
saying certain shit. You feel me? Like them folks tied into everything.
Yes.
It's a whole pyramid system of how that shit work. You feel me? From top to
Yeah.
bottom. You
And
know
it
what I
starts in the
mean?
Vatican. That's what
Yeah,
that show
that
Evil
part.
is about. That show Evil that I've been watching all 40 episodes. It's hard to get into, but everything is their base. The Vatican is like wants to is sending this pastor out or this whoever he is out to refute everything that is coming through. It has whether it has to do with demonic possessions, aliens, all of that shit. Every time they find something or find a case that sounds crazy, they send out the father, the black dude and his crew and team, and they investigate. And he eventually starts working for the Friends of the Vatican, which are like this secret service. And he goes out and figures stuff out. But he also has the sense of sight, what they call remote viewing.
Mm.
He has the ability to
You
do
talking
remote.
about the dude that played Luke Cage?
Yes. So it's like the
Okay.
Vatican picked him and knew that he was had these powers. So like Corbin said, the powers that be know what the fuck is going on. And they don't want it's like on the show they're protecting their interests. They don't want people to believe anything outside of
That's the
religion.
point I was making is they do all that shit because it benefits them.
Yeah, it is protecting their
Yeah.
interests.
So at what point,
Yeah.
if so many people know that this is what's happening, then why don't they like fight back?
Because it's more people
Man,
that don't know and don't want to know than it is that know.
right. Yeah, you got a lot of motherfuckers now. You feel me? Hell, again, like one of
I
our
already know.
episodes.
I just ask the question. Like I be
No,
knowing.
no, no, no. You
No,
smooth,
but we
and
we
it's
explaining it because
yeah,
we on the
yeah,
show because people listening
right.
may not
Yeah,
know.
and it's
Yeah.
other people who don't know what where we coming from and what we
Right.
mean. You feel me? So like, nah. I mean, again, though, like we said on a few shows back
So
or whatever. You feel me? Excuse me. That man, people walking around with pocket held computers in their hands, you feel me? And they choose to use those devices to look at bullshit and other than tapping
Man.
into some real shit, you feel me? That's gonna
yeah.
learn them and move them further along. But nevertheless, though, man, folks choose to be blind, deaf, and dumb. What they say,
Right. Ignorance is
ignorance is
bliss.
bliss. You feel me?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers is comfortable in this shit. You know what I mean? You can put that shit right in their face, and they still refuse it. You feel me? Or
Right.
say, nah,
So
man.
even if so, let me ask you this. Like okay, so if you refusing to educate yourself or give yourself knowledge, why be mad at somebody else for doing it though?
Man,
Because you're disrupting
because
their
you,
comfort level,
because
their comfortability.
right, you
People are
ruffling
so
their feathers.
yeah,
Yeah,
and people think that they've made it based off of financial or earthly gains. I had a come to Jesus moment the other day at the mall. Like my kids got all this money and gift cards for Christmas. So I was like, I'm gonna let them go to the mall. Usually I'd be like, oh, let me go look and see y'all. I just felt horrible. I was like, I don't even want to look at nothing. Like not saying that I don't want things, but I was like, I
It ain't
came
that
on this earth.
important, is it?
No, I came on this earth with nothing and I'm gonna leave with nothing. I thought about
Exactly.
indigenous Americans and how they didn't believe that man owns the land. That's why whoever has the land now
That's
has
like
it.
you.
Because
You remember when we went down to
hot
uh
springs.
yes, and they had the fucking water in cages. That shit did not sit right with me. Why y'all? How you put a cage on water?
But I had, like I said, I had a moment and I brought me so much peace because I was like, damn, now I know what my ancestors really felt like.
Yeah,
It's like I don't own nothing. I own nothing. I don't even own this body that I'm in. As soon as I
you
die,
don't.
my
It's a
spirit going.
vessel.
It's a vessel. I own nothing. But we live in a world that thinks that ownership and possessions are what makes the person. So when we start talking what we talking to people who don't understand, we're
They get
fucking up their
mad.
comfort. They know
Yeah.
we're fucking up their comfortability, their peace of mind, because the peace of mind to them is having a nice house, having a nice car, having the ideal job, having the money, the possessions, and they're not
The
willing to step
material
outside of that
shit,
realm.
because it's
Yeah,
not really that. But you think about Earth. Earth is a 3D planet, and it's a planet of material
possession.
shit.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. And I get
yeah.
that, but I realize I don't own anything. I'll never own anything. None of this is
You
my
never
possession.
will. It's not for you. You on a journey. You're a soul. You like.
And so I was at peace. I was like, damn. So this is why the Indians really didn't even. They wanted they fought for their lives, but they ain't even really give a fuck about this land because they
Because
told
give a fuck for what though?
because they don't own it. Nobody
I
owns the
know that's what
land.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
give a fuck. What am I giving a fuck? Like, it doesn't matter.
and then
You say you had a country like I understand what you where you coming from. I don't know if it's whatever energies is happening, but I never really just been a real materialistic give a fuck type like about type of stuff like that anyway.
yeah.
right.
But I like the level of it don't matter. Like I just gotta
Yeah.
have enough to do to be responsible for who chose me to be responsible for them, and that's it. I ain't responsible for shit else.
I told myself what's important to me are experiences and food right now. That's it. Like I'm not like for real. Like experiences and food. Like I want, like when I watched that video about the quiet zone, y'all in West Virginia, my mind
Where
immediately
you
went
see
to like,
that on?
girl, it's some little white dudes from Sweden that just be traveling all around the world. Just
I
I was
mean,
like, you
what
know
is
what?
it on YouTube
It was
or?
on YouTube. I send y'all the link. But like that just made me instantly want to be like, you know what? I want to go to these small places that ain't nobody going to and experience
I
these
don't want to
places.
go. If when I go on vacation, I don't want to go where people be going all the time. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't. Well, now it's so bad. It's really rapid because of COVID, and now everybody is everywhere. It's like when COVID hit, it's a mass exodus to all of these small places and random places. So now everything is pretty much the
it's
same.
open.
Yeah, it's open and it's cool because that's how things are going. But I realize now I don't want to go to no big places.
All
I
the
would
little
go.
secret spots get outed because everybody was trying to be away from each other.
Well, I'm finna go to the secret, low key spots. That's what my vacation's finna be.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I want to go. I don't want to go where it's gonna be a whole lot of people because I personally don't like people.
Well, that quiet zone, like I said, that shit put me in a
That might
whole
be
other
where I need to
mindset.
go.
Yeah, and a lot of people, some people are moving there to get away because they have electromagnetic sensitivity to the low F waves. I know one lady
Mm,
they interviewed, she said she moved there because she was getting rashes on her skin from the F
from
waves,
F
from
waves.
yes, from all of the devices and being
For
in
the
these
people,
cities.
what does F wave mean?
It means it's basically electromagnetic low frequencies, the lowest frequencies of the lowest frequency. And usually it's on the red scale. If we looking at a rainbow, it's what red, orange,
Yeah,
yellow, green, blue, violet, indigo. The lowest
whatever
frequencies are
GB is.
red. And so
But those
whenever
are the
you
same. Those are the same colors that are associated with your chakras. So when you are sitting in red, that means you ain't even grounded.
so if you look in the morning in the iron ore that's coming off of the sky is red. That's the lowest
Hmm.
possible frequencies coming out first thing in the morning. It's beautiful though, not
But
disputing how to look.
What is it arising from though? What is the last color
What you mean?
before? But like when you like, it's a rotation. The moon is
Yeah, I mean, of
rotating.
course, it just
So what
cycles
is
back
the
around.
last color that is coming up from? Like the dark purple.
The violet, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
all a cycle and important. But the lot so elf waves are really manufactured waves. They're not naturally occurring waves. Hence the word electromagnetic low frequency waves. They're coming from electronics. Whereas you're gonna
Hmm.
have natural frequencies in the universe. But when you're starting to have whole cities powered off of cell phones, batteries, that
Yeah, I
creates
don't like that when they be like, "Oh, you want to hook?" I don't even like being able to like with this with a alarm system.
everything is digital. Anything that's digital is running off of F waves. Just like some of the worst waves that are in our house are refrigerators and these
Hmm.
HVAC units. Refrigerators are the worst. They put out the
Yeah,
worst
don't
form of
unplug that
radiation.
motherfucker. You gonna be broke.
You're right, and you're gonna be hungry. But they put out the
Man,
worst amount of radiation, just like these new smart meters that they put out on people's houses.
the
Those
smart what?
smart meters. You know how your
Like to read like for utilities.
yes, people used to have to come out and read your meter, remember?
No, they still come read mine.
So they haven't gotten them in Jackson. In Chattanooga, everything is digital. Don't nobody come read your meter. They scan that shit in
So
from
you can't
wherever.
turn that shit down.
You
You might
can,
go
but
to jail. You
you
gonna go to
might get
jail.
some flack for it. But
Ah,
everything, those are the worst. But you can get Faraday cages to put around it. But the worst offender is your refrigerator in your
yeah.
house. And just think your food is
And
in
they tell
there.
you don't right. That's fucked up. But the food fake anyway, it's bioengineered like a motherfucker. I was looking at some cereal I was eating. This shit tastes like fucking this. If I took a bite out of this cardboard box, that's this cereal tastes like. I
And
looked
on the
outside this
boxes,
bio engineered. I
man,
said, "Oh my god, I'm eating barbecue food. What the fuck is this shit,
the
nigga?
boxes they put you, they tell you this is bioengineered,
I don't even want this shit no more. Don't I don't.
uh,
I'm not even hungry. I'ma just drink. You know what I mean?
right. But we live in some interesting times. And if we think
This
about it,
shit crazy, but it ain't
how
like this
fast
everywhere though. It's like I be listening to other people from other countries talk. They don't have the same foods and shit we have.
No, you go. I went to Puerto Rico, and that's just a few
So
miles down the
why is it
way.
like that in the United States? Like who hear us? They trying to get rid of us. We not gonna die.
I think America is an experiment, the new America.
Well, it is because, but you got to think about what it. So what they teach in history, what it started as is a place for criminals to come.
Yeah, it's a whole experiment. Now the people that been here, so they ain't worried about that shit. But the people who
Yeah,
came here,
Right. Now,
it's
the people who came here was a bunch of rejects from their
that
country.
that's what
part.
I'm saying. They was
Yeah.
criminals and
Nah, nah,
so
the
per
criminals
se.
they went to the penal colony, which is now known as Australia. Goddamn,
Australia.
that's yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
they
But
started and
that
shit.
ain't what they taught us at school. They were
They
saying like
they
some of the
taught
people
us
that
that.
came here was well, I don't remember that, but I remember them saying that some of the colonies here brought like the criminals and shit with them
Well,
too.
no, I always learned that the
Cause
criminals
them
from Europe
motherfuckers
they
was the
sent to
criminals.
Australia,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, that's what.
Huh?
Yeah, that was their penal colony, Australia and shit.
Australia, yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
criminals from Europe went
Ah,
to
well, I don't
Australia.
remember shit.
The
I'm just
people,
nah,
saying.
the
So
criminals from
nah,
who
and
Europe,
they,
they sent.
who came here? The poor people.
nah,
No,
yeah,
yeah, the
but
poor
no,
people and the
a bunch of motherfuckers who was who couldn't be in Europe and practice their religion and brung
religion,
this shit
right?
over
Oh,
here.
okay. So basically,
And
so a different type of criminal.
Yeah,
if you
that's what
want to
I'm
put it
saying.
that
They
way,
all criminals. Yeah.
right? They all, and
Yeah,
then
because
the colony,
motherfuckers look at you now just because you don't believe what they believe and look at you as like, oh, well, I know you probably be going in Kroger stealing shit.
well, y'all gonna make me steal some shit with these prices.
And with this self checkout shit.
The
Because
penal
why it's
farm,
only
but the
one
penal
motherfucking register over and
Georgia,
52
Georgia
self
was the
checkout.
penal. Georgia was the penal farm for the 13 colonies.
And
So Georgia sent
that's
it
what
to
I
them.
remember talking about is because I could have sworn I remember them bringing criminals to Georgia. I remember talking
No, no,
about
no.
that shit in history.
They came. Those were the people that were here in settlements already, supposedly for
And
the
they got
13
in
colonies.
trouble
They
here.
got in trouble. They sent them to Georgia.
Oh, okay. I remember. That's what I'm saying. I remember that shit. I might have had it wrong. I don't remember them ever talking about sending them to Australia, which
I
I'm not
rem-
saying that didn't happen. I'm sure it
yeah, that's
probably
what I
did.
remember.
But I
Europe
remember them
criminals.
talking about the criminals going to Georgia. I do.
Europe
That's all I
criminals
remember.
went to Australia, but Australia, what they did in Australia was different. In Australia, usually they kill the men. They didn't. They made it with the
Mm.
Aboriginal, the
And
white
that's the
people.
Yeah.
reason why they're light complected people there now.
And then, but then Australia too. They what they did in Australia is just like what they did in Africa with the colonialism and shit. They were real on some real colonizer type shit out there or whatever,
Yeah.
and that shit lasted a long time. The Aboriginal people had the uprise against them folks to
Ain't
Mhm.
gain,
that
you
the
know.
people that was in that court where they was singing the hockey or whatever it was called? Is that what that was?
I'm not
Okay.
sure, but I know they
Um,
did take them people to court or whatever.
I
They
think
took
that
And
was
they was
New
in
Australia
Zealand.
court. Yeah,
because
it
That
was
was
like
New
a
Zealand.
video going around.
when we hear of the Outback is them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But they're saying that the oldest people in the world are from Australia, not
Yeah.
Africa. So that's
Well,
why they
they
call
traced the
them.
mitochondrial DNA back to Africa. I don't, but the
Yeah,
oldest
yeah.
like
And then
culture is from Australia.
they
But I don't know
showed
how that would work.
that
So do you think all of it would be one united mass piece of landing, the Pangea, whatever they call that shit?
right. And then they also too like when it comes to the first migration and shit or whatever, that when they show people leaving the bosom of Africa or whatever, you see them traveling that southern part of the of the
Of this
world or whatever. You
landmass,
feel me?
yeah.
So like when you leave in Africa, going into Saudi Arabia, then going into Asia, what we think of India. You feel me? All this
Mhm.
southern Asia, and when you think about those particular countries now, all those people have a darker hue to them
It's
to
a
this day.
whole Yeah, and
It's
it's
a
a
whole
whole
bunch of
island
it's
right
black
outside of
people
India.
everywhere.
Right,
It's
you
a
know what I'm
whole
saying?
island
But that's
out.
what I'm saying. Right, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But it also is starting from that migration of people
Migration.
traveling, you know what I'm saying, going through those areas. And it shows when they went off into the Pacific Islands or whatever and charted those islands and became those native people or whatever, Samoans and
Well,
Aboriginal
they
people.
have some people that are Sentinelese in there. They're Sentinelese people, and they're on a small island outside
Yeah, I
of
know what you're
India,
talking about. Yeah.
and they're
Well, they
protected. They're the only people that have not been touched by
Because when
outside.
the outside
because they
people come,
scared of
they
them
throw spears
motherfuckers.
at them and kill them.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's why. God damn it. They
Shit,
can't even
you.
touch on
I'm
the
not finna
island.
allow you to come in. I seen a dude went over there and they killed his ass.
They killed his ass. He was on some missionary shit talking about I'm bringing
Yeah,
Jesus
don't
to
nobody
y'all.
want to do that. Leave them folks the fuck alone. They is fine. We
He
is
said
finna kill you.
he said I watched a documentary on him. He said
I
that it
saw
was
that too.
his life's journey to he said that God spoke to him and told him to take the Christianity to them people because they were
But what
savages and
make
they
them
needed.
think that somebody else want to believe it? Like, don't nobody give. Like,
They shot the
I
shit
get
out that
it, but
man.
I don't. They with them spears.
Shot the fuck out of him and his family want his body back. Bitch, you ain't
They
get that
won't
body back.
give it. You shouldn't have never. They probably just let that shit sit up like apes or whatever the fuck eat
So
that
let me
shit.
ask so let me ask y'all this. So do y'all really think that everybody came from Africa originally?
I
Or is that
I
just what
don't.
they giving us?
I don't.
No, when it comes to American shit, nah, man. It was already people here, but that's what I'm saying though. People
I think it was
circum
already
we
people everywhere. You have to be
we
melanated in order
we
to
right. That's
survive
what
under the sun.
and that's what I'm saying. Like us as people, we circumnavigated the world. You feel me? Period. So like,
Mm-hmm.
man, we Indian everywhere. You feel me? Like they said, when they described, you know what I'm saying, the natives, the word Indian is derived from the word indigo, because that's what they see.
Mm-hmm.
The people were so
Purple
Right.
black and
people,
purple, they
yeah.
called them indigo. You feel me?
Indian.
Indigenous.
So do y'all think so? Y'all say that. So do you think that they gave us they purposely told us that everybody's from Africa to discredit those of us who are already here?
Because they want to steal our land and shit. Yes,
Or do they want to fuck up our identity? Do they want us to not know who we are?
that all of
All
that
of the
solid. If
above.
I don't know who I
All
am,
of
then you
the
can take
above.
whatever you want.
All of the above, and then
Yeah,
if I don't feel no connection to where I'm at, then what am I? I'm less likely to
to
fight for it
fight.
or
Yeah,
feel entitled to something. You feel me? Because I feel like I don't belong here, quote unquote. You feel me?
I ain't
Mhm.
never really just felt like I would get into the whole African American, but like when
I
I
ain't no
was like,
African booty scratcher.
my grandmother was born. What you say?
I ain't no African booty scratcher.
Exactly. My grandmother was born in 1917, and my granddaddy was born in 1913. Both like we like Blackfoot Indians.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my grandmother where I was from, where her family was from, and she said up by Canada, and they migrated down,
Migrated
whatever the
down.
fuck that is.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was listening to this guy talk, the one I was doing that shadow work book for, the Hood Mystic, and he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about the how the people travel the Mississippi River,
From
and it was
Minnesota
another
and
river.
down and
And
up.
yes, instead of going where they was trying to make it seem like you was on a boat coming from Africa to
The
the Americas.
Ohio River also. The Ohio
Yes,
River is the Tennessee River. It runs
yes.
the Ohio River starts up and it runs down into the Tennessee tributary river.
So he was saying that people would misconstrue saying that they had slaves or people that was in servitude on those boats coming down that river, and instead of them saying it was coming from Africa to
But
Just like
here.
also,
they found a slave ship in Alabama off the coast
Yeah,
up off a river talking about it came off the Atlantic and
it did
drove all the
not.
way
It
up
came
the
from
river.
the fucking river, from motherfucking up north to goddamn down south. And then you think
but
about
also.
all those mounds and shit that's everywhere all over the United States.
But also too though, like to throw in there too though, because this is a historical fact or whatever. You feel me? Even
Mhm.
though to just to throw that out there, the word aboriginal only means, you feel me, that you're abstracted or you from that
Mhm.
particular land state
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
whatever. You feel me? So that anybody could be quote unquote aboriginal. But
Aboriginal. Mhm.
yeah, but let me say this though. You feel me? When it
Excuse me.
comes to the whole like Indian shit or whatever, like I know for a fact that my family, you know what I mean, on my mother's side, that we do have a native source in our
Mhm.
family, and also most definitely too. I think I'm tied in. Well, ain't no think I know. I'm tied in
Mhm.
both ways, where we do have some sort of native in us, and we do have the African
Mhm.
source. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get it both ways or whatever. But with that native shit though, you know what I mean? Did you know some Native American tribes or nations? Yeah, nations. That's the best word
Yeah.
to use. Some different nations, they participated as the first slave catchers because who knew the land before hell the
Better
white
than
man
them.
did, and they
Mhm.
Yeah.
made trade. They made trades and deals with them and for pelts and guns and whatever and etc. So hey, if you see
Mhm.
this nigga run off this land, I want you to bring him back because he gonna try to
And
hide in the woods.
some of them had slaves too and
Slaves,
made it
and that's
with
what
their
I was gonna,
slaves.
and that's what I was gonna get to. And when you look on the Trail of Tears, you feel me? When
Mhm.
Alexander sent
Andrew
motherfuckers
Jackson.
out west. If you
Andrew
look on that,
Jackson in
yeah,
1836.
and if you look on that picture, a part of the property, the Cherokee Nation, which a lot of people like to associate themselves a part of or whatever, not knowing that the Cherokee Nation was one of the nations that could have slaves as property. So when they
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
making the
But you
Great
know what I
Migration,
learned? I learned that sometimes the people would take the land, like the people, non-melanated people would take the land, and like the slave, the not the slaves, but the Indians, the Cherokee people would die off or whatever happened to them, and the non-melanated people would claim that shit or buy it and say that they were of that nation. When in reality it wasn't. You just bought it.
yeah, yeah, that's when they came with the term the $5 Indian and shit,
$5
where people were
Indian.
just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
people were buying this shit. So like, I don't like to get too much caught up in this shit because that shit go so many different ugly ass avenues, and
Mhm.
that shit is a fucking fact. Like a lot of them motherfuckers didn't even care for niggas though, and that's being real.
Yeah,
You
that's
feel me?
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
a lot of them I think what it was, and this is my personal opinion, you always every race has their traitors. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So just like, they say the whole well, slaves was bought over here, they people sold them out. That's what I think about the Cherokees and some of these Indians. They felt in order to survive, they had to, and that's even
to
we
get
even
rid
see it
of
with
unnecessary evil. You feel me?
yes. And you see that even in our black so-called black communities with certain
Yeah,
higher up black
when we trade up on each other, the crabs in the bucket syndrome.
that part,
I
that part.
I look at it like this. Just like how in Africa, like how people say, man, how if they were such a mighty people, how was they easily conquered? Because we were doing infighting. You feel me?
Mhm.
and
That's
in
it.
which in which that led to oh shit, you don't man, I don't like them niggas. You can go put them niggas in slave hell. I help you, goddamn it. You feel
And
me?
that's how it was here. They were
Just like it
battling.
was here. So
Yes. And
different fractions, different nations of people who look
mhm.
different because they say Africa is the home of all geno and phenotypes. So you can be from sub-Saharan Africa and look totally different from a northern African. Somebody from
Yeah. Eritrea.
yeah, yeah, that worked. Man, excuse me, y'all, who
No,
out there
you
from
good,
that
you
country.
good.
I didn't mean to butcher
I've had
y'all
people ask
place.
me if I was from there, and I
Yeah,
would be
because
like, no, nigga, I'm
we could
from
spit it
here.
all out, but like you say, that same war and fraction was going on
Mm,
here in the Americas, where they was like, "Hey, you can get them group of motherfuckers." You feel me?
mm.
Shit, you
And
type shit
then
or whatever.
you think about it, people from the outside come in and they like, oh, they play both sides of the fence too. So
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
colonizers came in and saw that they were infighting. took sides or didn't take sides, played both of the fence. Oh, we gonna get these folks. We gonna get horses from them, give them trade with them, give them
To
ammunition,
create
Because it's
division.
self-preservation, though.
To-
People are
to-
always going to do whatever they have to do to make sure that they can
and we're gonna
survive.
give y'all this stuff in return. Y'all allow us to be a part of your
Right,
so-called nation.
and we'll leave your village alone, and then only to
Right.
not know later on they gonna come
They
and
finna get
conquer
your
your
ass
ass
too.
too. You feel me?
Exactly. Like the
Hmm.
word
Yeah,
Tennessee comes from the word Tanasi.
yeah.
Tanasi.
From the
Tanasi.
from the Creek and Whitetail and parts of the Chickasaw and Cherokee nations and shit. Like I'm slick. No, you feel me? Especially about our region because like I say with my family, like I did the research. Like my family
Hmm.
tied into the Whitetail Indians or whatever. You feel me?
Hmm.
Who happened to fuck with niggas or whatever and shit, but they
Hmm.
did more like with like helping freed slaves and shit like that or
Yeah,
whatever. So a lot of times when folks be like, man, we got Indian in our family, that shit might be by force and not by choice. You
by
feel me?
choice. Yeah, because I know, like Cammy said, my great grandmother Blackfoot. They came from Pulaski, Tennessee,
Mine too.
Giles County. And she kept her. She was Blackfoot Indian, long ponytail. She lived to be about 100 years old. That motherfucker was deaf by the time she died. She lost her ear. Something it was something genetically in my grandfather's side of the family where they all lose their hearing, and she lost her hearing.
Hmm.
But she had all of her faculties. She lived to be 100 years old. And like I said, and I've done my history, even though I don't trust the census. I just don't trust that shit. But I did trace some back, and I cannot find nowhere where it say Africa or slaves.
Yeah, I
I
don't,
traced
I
my shit
haven't
back
ran
to the
across that neither.
early
So,
1800s,
and that's like, cause you
late
go back and you look at
1700s.
images and pictures of oh shit, of family and stuff. Like it's the people on there, but they be super dark skinned, but they be Indians. They don't be from Africa.
Right.
So I this is what I've been telling my mama. I think that this new resurgent that we're seeing have only been here less than 150 to 200, 200, less than 200 years, maybe 150. I'll give them that. Because y'all think about it, most of the people didn't move into any of these regions until when? The early 1800s, after the
Or
Indian
really,
Removal
really
Act.
the yeah, like slick the late, you feel me? Working into the
1800s.
late 1800s. Yeah, you
Yes.
feel me?
When did you
Mid
get
to late
most
1800s.
immigrants?
Yeah.
Exactly. When did you get most immigrants from Europe? In the early
19 in the
1900s.
1900s. Yeah, Irish and your Italians and your great flux of Jewish people. You feel me?
Exactly. That was the
All your
early
European
1900s.
culture. Yeah,
So
all your
so
European.
really stuff didn't pop off. Y'all think about World War II. After World War II, that's when they did all these countries came together. They did the Geneva, the Conference of Geneva or whatever it is. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
when they
yeah.
started the whole
And
globalization.
what's that other shit?
United it
Fuck
turned into United
Trump.
Nations. Huh?
Trump ass. Damn, man, I forgot the acronym for that shit. But Trump ass had when he was in his presidency his first time, he had
Mhm.
quit going to the meetings or whatever. I forgot what the name of that
The
shit was,
G20
but
summit. Now
not that.
G20.
But yeah, not that or whatever, not the summit or whatever. But it was
Uh-huh.
this treaty that we was a part of. But Trump was
Yeah,
like,
I
man,
can't I
fuck
can't
that
remember the
shit.
name of it, but I remember after
Yeah,
World War
but Trump
Two.
was like, yeah, yeah, and we've been a part of it since then and shit. But
Yes,
Trump was like, fuck this shit,
I ain't going, and that's how they created the
because
United Nations.
yeah, because they didn't allow Russia to the shit, and he was trying to kiss Putin ass around that time, so he quit going because since Putin wasn't going and shit,
I think it's
follow
United
ass
Nations,
nigga.
ain't it? Is it United Nations?
I don't know.
I think it's the United Nations because United
Hold up,
Nations
baby.
does not.
Now
Russia
I
is
know.
not a United Nation country. Russia wasn't, and the Ukraine wasn't. So they went to war, Ukraine, and they finally invited the Ukraine into the United Nations after the war started. But needless to say, I'm just saying all that to say is really this shit didn't start popping off to maybe a little over 100 years ago. Prior to that, this shit was primitive as hell. This is the last vestige, if you want to call it. This North America and South America, the Western hemisphere. This is the last vestige. These folks didn't come here until late 1800, early 1900s.
Right.
And you see how fast shit done went left and how they grasping at straws.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's
So,
crazy how, like, how speaking on that shit though, if people know, when those classes of people first came to America, they were disliked. People didn't like Irish people. They called them the
no.
niggas. They called them the niggas of Europe. God damn it.
Yep.
They looked at them as being a drunk Irish mix. You feel me? But when they worked out, they when they brokered their deal with the greater white Americans, from when they became a part of the great white fold, because again, Irish people weren't even looked at as being white. You feel
Hmm.
me?
They didn't
Along
like
with
Italians neither. They didn't like Italians
no,
nor
they didn't
Jews.
like Italians or Jews. They end up buying their way in, of course, with the
Well, the
social lynching.
mafia,
Yeah, that's what I'm
mob
talking about, the
ties.
Italians. And
Yeah.
then the Jewish, they gave them the sector of working the banks and all of the
And they
above
gave
and
them
shit. You
banks
feel
and
me?
lawyers,
Yeah.
banks, and
Because they
Hollywood.
were good. They were good with working and crunching numbers. You feel me?
Yes. And Irish people were always your police. They were the
Yeah, they gave
police.
them the police sectors and
And
shit. Yeah, that's why.
Italians, they gave them firehouses.
Hmm.
So once again, but that was all through the mafia. They had to strong arm that shit and come in and start robbing and creating melee in order to get a position. So once again, there's no honor among thieves. Point blank.
Mm.
Period. All
It's
these
not.
folks
And
are in
America
the
was built on corruption. You feel me?
corruption.
Exactly.
Man,
Exactly.
that's why this shit is a corporation. One day people will realize that America is a
And that's what I be
corporation.
trying.
And
Like, how do
everything
people?
about America is has been corporatized, or however you
That's
say
why they
that.
want Trump. That's why they want Trump is
Yeah, because he big
they
corporate.
head, man, because dude come from that shit.
Yeah, he about money. He big corporate. But how you gonna make it corporate when the people can't afford to pay for shit? Where you gonna get your money at? So
Man,
what
Hmm.
that's
what so what they're about to tap into here in America is resources, natural resources, just like that hurricane came through in
It knocked all of up
hey,
in the
North
hey,
Appalachian
Carolina.
hey,
area.
hey, and then you remember Trump? Hey, that motherfucker
It's
was
a
all about.
lithium
He,
thing
he
up
was
there too.
he was all about America
Being
harvesting their own.
self sufficient.
Yeah, harvesting their own type shit, their own crude oil and etc. Their own
Mhm.
power, so we ain't have to depend on other motherfuckers and shit. He was one of the first ones that made us start using our own barrels of oil. You feel
So, but
me?
do
Mhm.
that make sense to y'all though?
It do, but that shit again is some capitalist shit. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer with that type of mentality, for sure, for sure,
It
for
do.
Right.
sure, for sure.
So the ones that are really going to benefit, because even though we're getting crude oil from here, prices are still high as fuck. Nobody can really afford a lot of things. The bare necessity, my nigga, regular basic white eggs is $3.89, bro.
Man, did you hear me? Cause can they
Crazy
get
Like,
some
work,
chickens? I just
crazy
need
so
work.
4.
So you telling me if we're getting all our resources, because I know 70% of our gasoline in this country comes from Texas. We only import 30% of gasoline. So you mean
Yeah,
to tell me if majority of the stuff we're getting comes from our country, our prices should be cheaper. So now it ain't making sense right now. It's not adding up.
No, I'm not saying it does that part. I'm saying like to pull from your own get your resources from your own
yeah,
country
yeah. Of
makes
course,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we self sufficient and we rely on
Yeah.
our own because
Okay. So
And but
that's what I be
we
seeing. Like
we
people,
ain't we ain't getting
I
pacified
agree with that
by another
part, but
country.
it be the expensive shit that I just can't. I can't. Like, why does it cost so much if it's coming from here? But it does make
right,
sense for it to come from here. Like, why would we not shop with ourselves?
right. Bet on ourselves first, and with the
Yeah.
expectation of things being more manageable and more
Right.
attainable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we're finding out with the whole globalist agenda, they are having companies from outside of the United States come in and harvest this stuff. So in Oak Ridge, they're opening a new nuclear reactor, building a whole new nuclear reactor, and the company that's
Damn, a new
doing it,
one.
yes, they
Where?
are
Wow.
in
Oak
Oak Ridge.
Ridge. Yeah, that's where the
Oak
that
Ridge,
reason why.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
in
where the
East
Manhattan
Tennessee. Yeah,
Project. That's where they built the first
Yeah.
atomic
yeah.
bomb in East
That's
in
why
I
I
Oak
said
know
a
Ridge.
because
new.
I was supposed
That,
to take a field trip up there, but we didn't get to go.
yeah, that's why
So
I had emphasized on a new one, cause like, damn, you
yes,
know what I
they're
mean?
building a new one in Oak Ridge, but it's not, and they're getting government dollars. They're getting funded by the government. But guess who? Where the company is from? Fucking
China,
Sweden. No,
Sweden.
Sweden, Sweden, Sweden.
That's
There. So
crazy.
it's so
So
you
it
see
still ain't. It still ain't. It ain't. It still ain't gonna be.
exactly.
That
It's
shit
not
dumb
going to
to me.
benefit.
It doesn't make. That's why I just be like, come pick me up, goddamn it. I'm
And
ready
then
to
So if
go.
Sweden,
you notice, go
and
ahead,
then
Fully.
Sweden. No, no, and not to cut you off, but I'm gonna say this real quick, and you go ahead. And then Sweden, you feel me? They know they can't do that shit in their own backyard. You
No,
feel
and
me? So they
they
come
would
over
not
here.
do that. They would not do
Yeah,
that in their own backyard
And
because
that's what I
Sweden
don't understand. And why is it okay for all these different places to come and do all this
is money.
frivolous
Ain't no
shit?
more
Money,
money in America.
money.
It's no
I
more
mean, I
money in
get it,
America.
but goddamn, like
So
motherfuckers live here.
this company is from Sweden that's building these nuclear reactors. If y'all ever riding and y'all see all these companies that are putting these third party companies that are like putting up power lines, Google where these companies are based out of. Google, because
I
they're
don't
hiring a
want to
lot of
know. I just want. I want to
they.
practice
So if
cognitive
you
dissonance.
notice, Trump is all is he got Elon Musk all in his on his
He
side.
need to go
Elon Musk
home.
is not from here. He's from South Africa. So
I
now
already
America
know.
is being parceled out for global interest. It's not going to be
Right. So
local
it's
people owned.
they're selling like basically selling bits and pieces at
Yeah,
a time, right? Because I
right.
know it's some different places out west that's owned by like they have like whole like the little I don't know what they're called but those little places where it be like the big fans by
Yeah,
that's owned
yeah.
by
You talking about
China.
windmill farms and shit? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
windmill farms. And then windmill
Well,
farms
not
don't do
windmill,
shit.
but
Or
wind
whatever it's
farms and shit.
called. It's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
similar to I don't know what it's called. But
But
it's
yeah,
not
yeah, we
it's made by it's owned by China.
Yeah.
we got plenty of them out here, but I know the ones here though, you feel me, are owned by this company called Excel. That's who powers Colorado, and we got them when you first coming in Colorado and shit. They all throughout
So
Kansas,
is that what
throughout the
the
plains and
electricity
shit.
is coming from?
Yeah, they drive power because you know the plain states were always known for being windy. You feel me? So yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm. They got some in between when you ride the
This
highway
shit
from
set up so
Indianapolis
fucking
to
crazy.
Chicago.
This Grand
But
Theft Auto, I don't care what nobody say.
well, like I said, we're being parceled out. So I advise most of us to close your pocketbooks, close your mouth, open your eyes and ears, and just sit back and watch. Like that's where I'm at. I'm
Got
not
to
finna
because if you get you some popcorn and the pizza boys.
let me get my popcorn and just watch. And that's the thing that we have to learn is to sometimes just be quiet. Don't just be quiet. Like watch.
that part.
That shit
Watch the
crazy.
shit unfold. Watch your
It's one
pocketbook because the
eleven.
Hey, before,
motherfuckers finna
Let's
start
open it.
stealing.
before we get out of here, real quick, y'all, or whatnot. I know we got a slick go and shit or whatnot, but I wanted to get y'all small input. I know I supposed to be working on my little segment or something that I supposed to be
Didn't
uh
nobody do their segments today?
Today.
oh well I came in late so I ain't know if
Yeah, no,
Oh no, you
we ain't do none
good.
of
We
that.
ain't do
No.
it. It's
We just
okay.
kind of just going
just
with the
came
flow
in
right
with.
now.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
But hey, well, since I'm on it or whatever, I just wanted to get y'all. This would be my little street segment or whatever. So this is something that's going on in the streets per se back at home or whatever, and just to get y'all thoughts on it. Y'all know where they said, or you seen, where dude shared, where he
They
was the
fired
DJ.
him.
Yeah.
I ain't
Did
speaking
you
on that
see?
shit because I have to live
Hey,
here.
hey,
Who?
that
Who? What?
it was a DJ, a local DJ back at the crib. Bro was fired from being a DJ at Cody's. You feel me? and
Oh.
they fired him because they said bro didn't play enough country music or whatever. They said a part of his initial agreement to be a DJ when he signed the
Hmm.
shit
They
is to
page
hit.
on social media say we're gonna make Cody's great again. I ain't got shit to
Yeah,
say.
right.
Why would you
And
even go work there?
what I'm finna get to is this Caucasian lady went online
I
and she
seen this shit.
posted, she was like, sorry guys, I can't keep up with all y'all or whatever, the update, blah blah blah. She was like, shaking my head. Y'all have no idea what's really happening at Cody's. Y'all are all basically spreading lies about DJ Vaughn. So hear me out. She thought he was a great DJ, but she
Hmm.
was like, DJ Vaughn was warned few times before he was officially told to leave that he keep playing quote unquote trap music or rap music or whatever they
Hmm.
call it. As she said, um, what she went on down today. What she, yeah. So I'm going down, like basically what Kimmy just said or whatever. She was like, now what she say? So there you have it. Share this. There's the truth. But seriously, y'all can shut the fuck up and go somewhere else if y'all don't like it. Make Cody's great again. If that
So
ain't the most honky
it's
tonk shit I ever heard in
it's
my
honky
life.
tonk as hell, but at the end of the day, that was their shit, and we
And
been
and,
knew
and,
that.
and, 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 and
It
and this
was
is what
that
I
shit, but you gotta
right.
think about
And,
where they put that motherfucker on Old Hickory.
It been in Old
and
Hickory for how long though? For years.
right.
I
All them
know it's
And
people
been
that's what
had
I'm
there,
their
but it's
things
still
down
like
there.
you can't just. That's just
I don't
like
agree with it.
gentrification.
I
but
don't
that's what I'm
agree
finna
with
get
it.
but that's what I'm finna get to. Like back in the day, like let's keep it real. Man, it's always been that shit, man. Let them folks have they shit.
Have it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It
I'm
should
I
be
not
gave
saying
them.
considered.
go. Well, I'm not. I went to Cody's twice
I
in my
have too. I
I
life.
done
ain't
went
never like
multiple
going in
times.
Cody's because I didn't like the idea of partying where I knew we were
I
never
wasn't on it.
originally a part of. And they did that
Yeah,
because people stopped listening to country music. They were losing business. So now you open it up to a hip hop generation because it opened up the black people when I was in college. They
and
did a little
niggas go in
weed.
there and go to the club and act a fool, bro.
And I ain't even tripping off that because they act the fool when they go in the club. But my thing is,
No,
that's
I'm
their space.
saying, but against each other. It's like I don't care what. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
But how Cody's end up necessarily winning, like, cause I'm from that neighborhood, so I was right there to really
because
see
wasn't
all this
it
shit.
another club right there? Like, I
That's
remember
what
it
I was.
being called Spinnakers or some shit. What was it
Yeah,
called?
that Spinnaker's back in the day and shit, back when we were young. But then it
yeah,
ended up being all type of names
a
and shit.
different
But
stuff.
nevertheless,
Hmm.
it was a predominantly black club. And so once they ended that shit, you feel me? And them being right there next door, and like you said, they've been losing money over them years because everybody who was parking around there, they were parking in their parking lot to go to the club is right
Yeah.
next door. You feel me?
Right.
They
Why
been
y'all
Well,
they
put
been
two clubs right next door to each other?
well, that was
but
a club alley. That was the
Cody's
club
was
alley.
yeah, Cody's was there, like you say,
I
had that shit
personally
been there
think all
forever.
this shit dumb and it's lame, and I don't care. But I
I
get
just
it.
think, just for the topic of what we saying, I think that them people got what they needed out of black people. They got their money up,
Right.
and now they want their shit back. So you can't be mad at them. I hate that it's playing out this way, though. I hate it for the young man that
I hate
got
it because
fired.
it's not a lot of shit to do in Jackson either.
But who still going to Cody's? They been
Everybody's
Man,
put
going.
black folk out,
everybody go
Everybody's
though.
there.
going. Everybody goes to college. I don't go,
Yeah.
but that's the place to go
Still,
to. Yes, it's nothing to do
Yeah.
here. It's nothing to do. That's why I don't care what you do. I'm finna go home.
so people
Cause
be
I
going
don't
to
want to
Cody's
go to
for real.
Cody's. If I go to Cody's, last time I went to Cody's, motherfucker told me, "Hey, Miss Hill, I'm finna go.
Mm.
I'm
Right.
finna
Well,
go." It's
like I said,
another
I
little
think.
spot downtown, 40 and over or some shit like that, but I'm not going to that. If I go
My
out, go
thing is, who
somewhere,
still
I'm
going
not
to
doing.
clubs?
People, if it's not, well, if it's nothing else to do, what else is there to do though? People, the same people that go to church on Sunday go to club.
On the
Mm.
Saturday.
Got time for the Lord party all night Saturday. Ain't got time for the Lord on
Yeah, but
Sunday.
I don't know who we going. But like we're older, so of course we're not gonna be like, oh, we going to the club. But
Well, it's
the
old
people
people
that's
still be.
It
Yeah,
is
those
people
people.
that's
My baby
old that
daddy be
still
throwing
go.
parties.
But
My
I'm
baby
saying
daddy throw parties, and he
like
42, 43.
if you like the people that's 24, 25 that live here, there's nothing to do but go to Cody's.
So they be
Yeah,
clubbing still. I didn't think they club no more.
Yeah.
Cause
Why? Because you
they
don't
don't even
club,
communicate.
so
nigga.
They don't
but
even talk to
but I
each
No.
just
other though. They little
They
young
talk on
kids,
social media.
but then they
All
be at the
people do is
club and
go to
don't
the
talk.
club to be on social media and Snapchat. That's what they do. But people go to
but
the club. People go to the club.
I ain't
I
know
think
people still went to the club.
Yeah.
but like you were saying
If you
though,
was 25, you would go to the club too.
but like you were saying though, Fisa, like my whole thing with bringing it up was or whatever for hoping that this would be a wake up call for the people or whatever. Like, man, quit going to places, man, where you ain't,
Well,
man,
you
where
not
you,
welcome.
man, period, man, where you're tolerated
Yeah.
instead of where
But
you
it's
celebrating
another
type
place,
shit,
that
man.
little
That's why
party
I said
thing
stop spending your money.
where
Close your pockets,
what's his
open your
name?
eyes and ears, and
Nate
close your mouth.
Right.
Nate Miller, he got a little spot that's down like going out south by the railroad. I think it's called 615 or something. He be having little events there where it's black people friendly.
Well, I'm just for me. I just think for the next 6 months until we figure out what direction things are going. Just this is my
People is not
opinion.
finna do that. The feast of day is gonna go to the club.
I'm
It
just
doesn't.
telling my opinion. I don't care what other people do. I'm just
Uh,
saying my opinion until the set for the next. I'm serious for the next 6 months until June and July. Once we see
I
how
hear
things are
you.
going to go, people need to start closing their mouths, closing their
They
pocketbooks, opening
not
their
though.
eyes and ears. Not saying that it's going to happen, but that's just my opinion
I
for the next 6 months.
100%. I agree with you on that. Like I promise. I swear to God, I do. But it's how we as a people are. We ain't finna do that shit.
And then, like Bobby Hemming
And I'm
said, it
not trying to be like negative or
ain't
no
but one
shit.
percent. Ain't but 1%. All you need is 1% to represent it. Everybody ain't
That's
gonna get it.
it. Everybody not, and it's not for everybody to get neither. If you think about where we at, we on Earth.
But I think people are starting to listen based
They are.
off of what happened off these elections. People start looking like and like I said, I'm not big into politics, so I'm not
Me
saying I
neither.
prefer either person. But I think a lot of us woke up and was like, "Oh shit is
It is
like."
because if you think about it, who was running? Like really, if we are totally 100% honest, neither one of them people.
Nah. Like I said, man,
Like then they say, oh well,
two
this is
two
this is a
fangs of the
black
same snake.
woman. No, she's
That
not.
part.
She would like black people be so ready to just welcome anybody that's got a little melanin, and that
Well,
wasn't
I
for
think
us.
by her losing, it woke up a lot of people, and they feel some type of way about it.
Yeah,
They
as you
starting to pay
should.
attention.
What they
So
say, man,
everything
just cause we skin folk don't make us kin folk, man.
don't make us
Hmm.
kinfolk, and these folks starting to feel it. So on that
Well, I
note,
guess that's good. Well, I read this little thing since we didn't do well. Corey did his little street thing, but
yeah, I guess
I
my introduction was kind of my little Nafisa
so
news.
I'll just read our little veneration to the ancestors, and then we call that shit a day.
For sure.
So I am root of your root, soil of your soil, bone of your bone, and blood of your blood. From the Shanklin, Jones, Fuller, Meriwether, Curran, Johnson, Dodson, Johnson, Morgan, Davis, McNeil, Hill, and Crutchfield families, we thank y'all for your guidance, protection, wisdom, and clarity. We understand, overstand, and understand the strength and power that's being provided to us. We accept the responsibility of the gifts passed down to us, and we walk in your strength and power today and every day, Ashe.
I say,
I
I say,
say,
I say.
all right, good people, y'all enjoy y'all week. We'll holler at y'all next Sunday.
All
For
right.
sure.